In this episode of Akram's Ideas, I'm going to show you how to make apple cinnamon monkey bread. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome. I'm Akram Burris, and you're watching Akram's Ideas, bringing creative and crazy ideas to life. In this episode of Akram's Ideas, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite brunch time dishes. This is not just monkey bread, but apple cinnamon monkey bread. And it uses a basic monkey bread recipe along with my sugar-free apple pie mix. So it's a really quickie bake and absolutely delicious brunch time dish. To make our apple cinnamon monkey bread, you are really going to need only a few ingredients. It is a quickie bake, and what you're going to do is you're going to need all the ingredients for traditional monkey bread. So you're going to start with your canned biscuit dough, and you can get these depending on the size. Like I've got the big 8 size here of the Grand's Pillsbury biscuit doughs, so I'm only going to need 2 packs of these. If you get the regular size cans, then you're going to need 4 pack of those, and the regular size cans typically have 10 medium sized biscuits inside of there. These larger cans have 8 large biscuits, so it just depends on what size biscuits you're using. But again, I'm using 2 of the large 8 size biscuit dough. You'll also need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a ½ cup of sugar. In my case, I'm using Splenda instead of sugar just to make this a little bit sugar-free. Also going to need 1 cup of brown sugar, and again, in my case, I'm using the Splenda brown sugar blend. You're going to need 3/4 cup of butter. You're also going to need about 2 cups of your apple pie filling. And be sure to check out my video on how to make the apple pie filling, because that's the one that I'm going to be using here. Now, alternatively, you could just get a can of apple pie filling to mix into this. To get started, we're going to start by opening our biscuits up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to slice these biscuits into small quarters. Now that we got our biscuit dough cut into little quarters, it really doesn't take much to put this recipe together. You're going to start by taking a Ziploc bag, and in the Ziploc bag you're going to pour your sugar and cinnamon. Again, in this case I'm using Splenda. And you're going to zip up your Ziploc bag, and you're going to shake the sugar and cinnamon mixture together so that it's all well blended. So there's that, and then you're going to take a bundt cake pan and you're going to thoroughly grease that pan, and it's key to make sure that you get the center piece really greased down so that you don't have any sticking. So basically you're going to take your bag of cinnamon sugar and you're going to toss a couple of your little biscuit wedges in there, and you don't want too many at a time or they don't get evenly coated. So you're just going to close that up, shake it about, and then set them in the pan like so. And the idea is that you have a fairly covered amount of biscuits for each layer. Now that you have a single layer of biscuits at the bottom, we're going to layer some of our apple pie filling over this, just kind of evenly distributing it around here. The next thing that we're going to want to do, you're going to take your butter, which you have at this point melted, and you're going to mix it into your brown sugar. And you're going to get this into a sort of a syrupy state. And then pour a little bit of the mixture over each layer. So I'm going to take a little bit of this and kind of just drizzle it over my apple filling here. So once you have a layer of your biscuits, your apples, and your brown sugar, you're basically just going to repeat this process, starting with another layer of your biscuits covered in the sugar cinnamon, the apples, and then followed by the brown sugar and butter mixture. And there you have all the layers of our apple cinnamon monkey bread put together in our bundt pan. You're going to want to bake this at 350 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. Here is our apple cinnamon monkey bread taken out of the pan once it's been cooked. Mine cooked about for 30 minutes. Now, once you remove the monkey bread from the oven, you're going to want to let it set in the pan for about 3 to 5 minutes, letting it cool a little bit so that it has time for the sugary syrup to kind of stick a little bit more, making it easier to get out of the pan. So here it is. And I'm just going to take a small piece of it here. I'm just going to dig right into it here. It is so good. It's full of apples and sweetness. It's just delicious. And one of the things that I like about this versus regular monkey bread is that when you bite into it, you get these little apple chunks, and it's just wonderful. So there you have your apple cinnamon monkey bread. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Akram's Ideas, and if you did, remember to give it a thumbs up so I know what kind of videos you guys look forward to seeing. And as always, don't forget to follow Akram's Ideas on social media or subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching!